Yes. It's just your quality of people is not being looked over. You have people who are given, they're enabled. Once again, they're enabled to do, a half-assed job. And it's just unacceptable that we're using this whole fiscal excuse that we just need more money. You don't need more money. You need better structure on the inside.
All right, so before we end this interview, I'd like to ask you, is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest about the things you've seen there? Something that's really just kind of eats away at you all the time that you want to tell the people about?
What eats away at me was, as an employee, seeing how much money is wasted at the VA. I'll give you an example. Obama has a program out there where federal facilities needed to show that they were doing sustainable energy practices. Now, here in downtown Chicago, in a tiny area where we can barely fit recycling bins out on the street, it was presented to me to sign off on, putting a multi-million-dollar windmill on top of the roof of the VA, knowing that it would just be a statue. And in spending millions of taxpayer dollars to put a statue on top of a hospital that is just a facade, a taxpayer waste of money, just so that we can receive the annual stipend that we would get for that program. So you're wasting money to earn money. Absolutely ridiculous. That was the nail in the coffin, and that is what led to me to resign, because I refused to sign off on that.
Well, I thank you for your time here today, Kristen. I mean, you've given us a lot of good information to go with and a lot of information for our audience. I'd like to thank Chris and Megan for coming on the show tonight and sharing her story with us. And also, if you have a story to share as a veteran or an employee yourself of the Veterans Affairs, you can go to a new site that was just put out. It is called vaoversight.org. And you can go on there. They have a team of lawyers who are whistleblower experts that will protect you. They'll take your complaints. If you're trying to get benefits that you haven't received yet, they'll try to help you get those. And just once again, if you're an employee for the VA, they will help protect you from the VA to get out what it is you need to say to the people. You can also send your stories about the VA to jbiggs@infowars.com. And also, if you want to stay up to date on news, please get a subscription to prisonplanet.tv. Be sure to tune in weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Now that's an order.
Shop.com.
A group of more than 500 retired pro football players have filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL. They're claiming that the league unethically supplied them with illegal prescription pain medications so they could play the game through serious injuries. As a result, these players now suffer from addiction and long-term health problems caused by the risky narcotics. The abusive practice by the NFL basically substituted pain medication for medical care, thus keeping the league's tsunami of dollars flowing. Players were sent out onto the football field unaware they had serious injuries. Super Bowl champion quarterback Jim McMahon says team doctors never told him he had a broken neck. They just fed him more pain pills. And his teammate Keith Van Horn says he played an entire season with a broken leg while on a steady diet of painkillers. The class action lawsuit follows another NFL conspiracy to cover up the dangers of concussions, which was the focus of League of Denial, a powerful PBS Frontline documentary that details how the NFL covered up the concussion crisis.
What League of Denial is about the invisible disease attacking the brains of football players. According to the scientists we talked to, the cumulative effect of maybe as many as 1,500 hits a year, the likelihood that your brain has a lot of damage done to it is very high.
ESPN was so alarmed by the film that they ended their production partnership with PBS for running it. Meanwhile, the NFL agreed to pay close to $800 million in lawsuits accusing the league of concealing the risk of head injuries. And as we've been reporting all along here at InfoWars, the National Football League has also emerged as an establishment political tool. So it makes sense that they cover up scandals and deal drugs. And get this, the NFL is a $9 billion a year business and growing, yet they are totally tax-free. That's right, they do not pay a dime in taxes. The owners consist of a group of billionaires who buy politicians who agree to use your tax dollars to build lavish stadiums that are also set up as FEMA relocation camps in the event of an emergency or civil unrest.
Hey, we're here in Denver, Colorado, and we're covering Operation Mountain Guardian. Now, this is a large-scale terrorism drill, and 100 different agencies actually took part in the exercise. Now, this was a test for Homeland Security and FEMA to test their capabilities in what they referred to as a catastrophic situation involving a terrorist attack. One of the primary locations of the drill took place right behind me at the Sports Authority field, where the exercise involved participants processing children in and out of the FEMA camp that they set up inside of the stadium.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has teamed up with the Department of Homeland Security, sending TSA Viper teams to football stadiums. They turned the Super Bowl into a police state, complete with Illuminati rituals, while at the same time banning pro-Second Amendment ads and promoting Obamacare. They are the poster child for the New World Order, and they play a heavy hand in conditioning the public. And for those of you who think that it's completely harmless to be a die-hard football fan, like I used to be, and you honestly believe that you're not the subject of conditioning, you have to ask yourselves what it would be like to live in a country where people were as passionate about football as they were for things that actually mattered.